What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on a bunch of projects because you are tuned into an episode of The Rundown where I give you some very quick and to the point reviews. Now, it has been a while. As some of you probably saw, I was busy because I just had my third child, so we're all very happy about that. And my heat just came on now because it's cold as hell here. So you know what? We got some shit going on. But we're going to keep it cool and casual as usual because I want to get you guys some content. It's been a couple of days. I've been sitting on this script right here for the rundown. So we're going to make it through, even if it ain't perfect, man. But shit will get back to normal in a couple of days. We're just still trying to recover from the new addition to our family. So the first project I want to talk about is Apollo Brown and Joell Ortiz's project called Mona Lisa. Once I saw this one, I figured it would be dope because you got Apollo Brown on the beats. He's just masterful when it comes to the sampling, and here he's working with all kinds of instruments and vocal chops. And Joell Ortiz, a member of Slaughterhouse, is crazy with the lyricism. I'd say he's one of the guys who really keeps it real as far as, you know, real hip-hop. Like, I hate using that term, but you know what I mean when I say that. Guys who are actually trying to spit and bring content. They're not doing the newer sounds and trappy shit. You guys get what I'm getting at. He just keeps it very traditional is what I'm trying to say. So that's the sound you're going to get on this thing, man. If you love that traditional boom bap shit, you're going to love this one. And I was impressed with some of the content. For example, on the song That Place, we get Joell speaking on how much he hates the hospital because of the things that he's experienced there. He's seen one of his homies die there, and he also went through a breached birth with his child, which I thought was just, I couldn't even imagine going through that. So that was a very powerful track that spoke to me as a father. And even on Decisions, he talks about the various crossroads he's had in his life, where he had to choose between going to the streets or going to the studio. So a lot of this project does kind of build up based on some of the shit that he's been through. And I think that personal approach really helps this project because you're not just getting bars for the sake of it. He's actually telling you some stories and you are getting to know him a little bit. I especially liked on the song Reflection where he spits, "I ain't gonna lie, a lot of this is hard to take. I'm watching them praise the okay and overlook the great. I'm not saying that they ain't straight. I'm just saying that, never mind, no matter what they gon' turn the shit into hate." I just thought that was a very real and vivid look into the state of the rap game from an OG, you know what I'm saying? I get that myself sometimes when I speak on newer sounds and styles I don't really care for, and just trying to speak my opinion. People come at you, you know, they say you're just an old head, you're a hater and this and that, but you know, it is what it is, man, like he's saying. Sometimes you're just trying to put your opinion out there and speak on ways they can improve maybe, but it doesn't always go like that. So I thought this was a pretty dope project. I'm going to throw a 3.5 out of 5 on it, and I'm not going to go higher because it is so traditional. And, you know, I just feel like there were some boom bap projects this year that are better than this, which you will be seeing once I do my top 20, top 30, whatever it is at the end of the year. Still really good. Not quite a 4 for me, but I think you should definitely check this one out if you like that traditional shit. Now, the next one, as I scroll down here, is Action Bronson's project, White Bronco. This one kind of just seems like it came out of the blue because I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't see a lot of hype for it or videos or anything like that. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm sure some people out there knew about it, especially if you're a hardcore Action Bronson fan. But I didn't know anything about it. It came out of the blue. And after listening through, you know, I understand why there wasn't much discussion about it. I just don't think this was a very impressive project from Action Bronson. It is the usual where he does have some pretty groovy samples on there, so I think the beats are nice. As usual, he's coming through with his humor and pop culture references that you would expect. But you know what? It just comes across as a half-cooked project more than anything else, as I stutter. Not saying this is trash by any means, but I do feel like Action Bronson might be at a bit of a crossroads here, because this shit dropped, didn't make too much racket, not a lot of racket going into it, as far as I know, and this to me is just a 2.5 out of 5. I just thought it was very average. Not going to say it's trash, not going to say it's great, but I'm not going to come back to it. But I will say this, if you are an Action Bronson fan, I want you to let me know how you feel, man. That's just something that I'm interested in. Did you really like this? Do you like the direction he's going? Or do you think you need to hear some growth? Because I still think Mr. Wonderful is one of his better projects. It was just more polished. There's a lot of variety on there, and of course there was a lot of hype to that one, but that's just me speaking. I'm not a hardcore Action Bronson fan, but you guys let me know. But you guys do know I'm a fan of this next guy, Big KRIT, and he dropped a 3-track EP called Thrice X, and I just thought this was really dope, so I'm going to run down the 3 tracks and tell you what I think. The first one, Higher Part 6, actually kind of reminded me of something from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, just the overall aesthetic and sound of it, especially with those vocals going on in the background. So I thought this was a little bit different for KRIT, and that's refreshing. KRIT does mix his sounds up quite a bit. You know, he comes through on synth production sometimes and sample-based shit. He raps, he sings, he does this and that. But I thought this track was really cool, and I liked how it did have that vibe that I mentioned. So that was a great track. And then with Glorious, even though we get this atmospheric banger that's not really anything out of the ordinary, it's still a banger, man. Still works. KRIT is still working some nice flows on there, and I think it's really perfect for that late night rotation. I'd say the same thing about the other track called Look What I Got. I love the beat on this. Again, it's very spacey. You're getting these organ chords on it that are just so cool, man. This shit is just a playlistic, very smooth album. So, well, a little EP, I should say. And I think this is great, man. I'm going to throw a 4 out of 5 on it because I don't have any complaints. I like all 3 tracks. It has me excited for more from Big KRIT. And I think all 3 of these tracks would be good enough to make his next project. I know with EPs, sometimes you only get 1 or 2 of these tracks on an album, but these are high quality Big KRIT tracks in my opinion. I really fuck with them. I like them. So 4 out of 5 it is. And up next, we got Zero with his new album, Sadism. And I don't even know what number album this is for Zero. Like, Zero has been at this shit for so damn long. He's very consistent. And you know what? You are getting more of the same from him on this project. He's coming through with that usual blend of bangers and smooth tracks, and as is usually the case, it's those catchy harmonies and melodies that make the shit work, man. I've long said that Zero is one of the best hook masters in the game. It's still amazing to me that other people don't bring him on, but I know he likes to keep to himself. He stays one deep and all of that. But in spite of that, you're getting some great tracks on here, like Gang Gang Gang, Good Guy, High Haters, and Always. You have great beats on these, just the type of shit you can work with in your car. I find Zero's the type of guy who I always keep in the car because he has those bangers and catchy melodies, catchy hooks on those songs as well. Those were just some of the tracks that really stood out to me. But what does hold this one back a bit is some of the more forgetful, generic tracks. There are moments where you're kind of like, okay, Zero, we get it. We've heard this shit from you a million times. Production-wise, it's kind of bland. The same old shit about haters and staying one deep. You get a couple of funny sexual tracks as usual, and I like all that shit from Zero. I'm just saying that I'm kind of curious to see where he's going to take it next. This is also around 18 tracks. I think he's the type of artist that works even better when he keeps it low, like he did on Drankin' and Drivin'. I think that was 13 or 14 tracks, and that's some of the best work he's had in years. But you know what? This is still pretty good, man. It has a couple of skips on it, but the production is great. The hooks are great. You can work with it in your car. So 3.5 out of 5 on this one too, man. That's how I feel about it. Pretty good Zero project. Zero is basically a walking 3.5 out of 5 to me. I mean, that's what I give most of his projects. I have given some 3s, and I know I gave a 4 to Drinking and Driving because I think that was so good. But for the most part, it's just me. Like, I'm just saying I fucks with Zero, man. You can say I'm biased, whatever you want to say, but I like Zero's music. He does stay consistent. You know what you're going to get with him, and yet I would still like to see him maybe mix it up a bit, cut a couple tracks off or something like that. That's just what I'm trying to say. But moving on, this one, you can't really cut any tracks off because it's only 2 damn tracks. I'm talking about 2 Chainz' Hot Wings Are a Girl's Best Friend. Both of these tracks, honestly, they're not really anything amazing. Like, this is the opposite of that KRIT EP. Where that EP had me excited to hear more from KRIT, this does nothing to get me excited for new 2 Chainz at all. I will say Hot Wings Are a Girl's Best Friend. I mean, look, I'm fucking this shit up already, man. That's how forgettable this is. I will say the song Hot Wings because what this title of the EP is both of the titles put together. So Hot Wings is just a standard 2 Chainz banger. It does have some eerie bell production on it. That's kind of cool, but ultimately it's really nothing fascinating. And then with the song Girl's Best Friend, you're just getting a catchy G-Funk style track featuring Ty Dolla $ign. It's kind of cool. I definitely think it's more interesting than the other song because it's fun, it's light and breezy, type of shit you could work with in the summer. But I don't know, man. I didn't really care about either of these tracks too much. Not going to come back to them. So 2.5 out of 5 it is. I wouldn't say it's an all-out fail. It's aight. But if you skip this one, even if you are a diehard 2 Chainz fan, I don't think you're going to miss anything here. It's just kind of all right. You know what I mean? I listened to the 2 tracks. I didn't hate them, but I don't really give a fuck about them. So it is what it is. And lastly, we have Dime Bag from Styles P. And can we please just give some love to Styles P? Because I think he's had a hell of a run this year. He already dropped G-Host as well as Beloved with Dave East. I think both of those projects are very solid. Great projects. And this one is just as good, man. You're getting a lot of great production here. I like that grimy-ass banger, couple of dollars. This is one for the car, for the club. You can fuck with it for that. You get a Currency-esque sound on Money and Checks. Just very wavy and smooth as I hit my table and shake the shit up because I ain't being that smooth. Like I said, man, new baby around here. Shit is kind of shaky and sketchy, but, you know, we're working on it. I'm getting my mind right. I'll be a couple days. Where was I? The blend of epic strings and heavy drums on War and Peace, that was cool while I'm moving on. And on this track, he warns a calm wolf is still a wolf, and he spits that he was off the stoop by 7, a crook by 9, which, I just think these are a couple of hard lines, and that's what you get from Styles P. I feel like he's kind of underrated. I ain't going to say he's a top-tier lyricist, but he's been very consistent, not just this year, but over the years. Even his old work with The Lox, some of the solo shit he did back in the day, My Life with Pharaoh Monch is still one of my favorite tracks of all time. I absolutely love that. So Styles P is good, man. You're getting some more hard lines on here, like on Mary Antoinette, when he spits, a wise man can see that a peasant has a king in him, just speaking on how there's more to people than the riches and all that shit. You can see the best in everybody, no matter where they're coming from. You get a smooth reminisce joint called Time Machine. This one's incredibly wavy with some great vocals. The song Never Fight an African has these African chant vocal chops on it, so that was very interesting. There's just so much going on here. That's why I'm looking at my notes. For a project that's only 10 tracks, like, there's a lot of different styles and sounds. I think he mixed it up quite a bit as well to keep it fresh and interesting. But again, just like a lot of the projects in here, I feel like in this episode, I know I'm giving some 3.5s out of 5s. People hate that number, but that's how I feel about this project too, man. It's great, but it's not breaking the mold. I like to save those 4s and 4.5s for shit that's either breaking the mold when the lyricism is crazy and exceptional, like say on Apathy, Jericho Jackson, that stuff. But this is still really good, man. I'm not trying to talk down on it. I'm just saying it's not quite something that would make my year-end list. It's almost there, and I think Styles P could very clearly make a project like that. This one just kind of feels like a bit of a holdover. Pretty dope. So that's how I feel, man. Thank you for bearing with me. It's been a while since I updated. I know this wasn't the smoothest review. I'm kind of just, getting this shit out there so I have something up because it's been a while, and I wanted to talk about these projects. So I'm not saying I was just rushing the shit out just for the sake of it. I'm still having fun doing this. I still love talking to you guys in the comments section. So like I said, as the week goes on, I'll get my shit back together, get back to somewhat of a normal schedule, hopefully, and the reviews will tighten up. So shit is on the way. Thank you for bearing with me. Let me know what you think about all these projects in the comments section. As usual, show me love and show me lots of it. I still need that. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.